Thank you. Hello, hello. When in doubt, you start a stream, your wife calls every time. Classic. Never fails. Hello, King. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. I do need to. I kicked myself out. That was awesome. I need to share my stream still. Good, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm not too bad. I just got done with work for the day, so got done early, so that was nice. I don't know why it's always so hard to, like if I click on my channel, it doesn't show that I'm live, and so like then I have to literally search myself, and then it will show that I'm live, and then then I can share it. Maybe. Yeah, it has been a while. I was live. Well, it's been a while since I've been live on my channel. I was live like 3 days ago on my channel. But I've been live on a bunch of other channels. Well, not I say a bunch. The Cool Han Luke Show is another Lego, like it's like an actual like, I don't know, like show or like a podcast or like a, I don't know. It's lots of things, and so I've been on their panel before, where they invite me and I, you know, go live with them, but I'm not live on my channel, so you guys won't see it. I've been thinking recently that I wonder if when I join their live streams, if I could turn on my live stream so you guys can watch it, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. It gets complicated. So I've been on some other Lego like channels, but I myself on my channel have not gone live in a while. Yeah, I had a lot going on the past 6 months, and I don't know, it was like I didn't have much going on. I didn't like buy a lot of Lego, so like I guess there wasn't a super good reason to go live. I usually like live build, and so I'm hoping I can get to the point where I can just chat with people more and not have to focus the entire stream on building. Sorry, I'm trying to share my live. Take more pictures, man. More pictures of of work stuff. Take more Lego pictures. Nice. Have you got any new Star Wars sets recently? I have not. The most recent set I got was this set right over here. Where's the box? It's easier just to show the box. than have to explain it. This is the Lego Studios Steven Spielberg set, and people are like, whoa, what's that? I've never seen that before. It's not Star Wars. 99% of my collection is Star Wars, but this one caught my eye because it was designed in the early 2000s to get kids excited about making videos, editing their own videos, doing stop motion. And so this set comes with all of this stuff. It's supposed to be like a movie scene, and it comes with like directors and all that. But most importantly, it comes with a camera, and it comes with editing software that you download on your computer. Excuse me. And then it's an editing program. Then you hook up the camera to the computer, and then you can film videos through like an actual Lego camera, and then edit them. They have their own sound bites in there, like dinosaurs going like boom, 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 roar, and you can like edit in all the sound, and then it has like background music and like all of the bells and whistles, and so you can literally create your own movie with this set. And so for me, I mean, yeah, I'm not a big time YouTuber, but I like, to make videos. And so my idea with it was, well, first off, it's just super cool. And I was like, I have to have it. I have a bunch of old Lego magazines back here, and they're always like promoting it, but like I've never seen this set in person before. And so I went to a used Lego store, and they had it, and it was sealed. I mean, the box was open, but all the bags were sealed. And so I was like, I will take that. Crazy thing, it's crazy because the set back in the day when it was released was like $170, $160, and I paid like $220 or $230 for it. So I really didn't pay that much more for it. If this was a Star Wars set, it'd be worth like $1,000, I'm sure. Anyway, so on top of all of that, what I thought would be cool would be to take this Lego camera and make, again, this is old. Like, this is like, it says on the side of the box, you need Windows 98 to run this. So I'm talking to a few of my computer friends, and they're excited about it because, like, who runs Windows 98? Nobody. And I'm trying to I got the computer program to work, but I can't get the camera to work. Oh, my audio's gone. Oh, boy. Hello? Oh, it is gone. What about now? No? Hello? 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 It's really loud now. Okay. I really dislike StreamYard. Can you hear me now? Turn the gain way up. Good, thank you for saying that, because I would have kept going the whole time. Anyway, I have friends who are good with computers who are going to help me have an old Dell computer. It's not that old, it's like 2015, but I'm hoping I can download Windows XP on it, which would allow me to hopefully not play a game, to be able to use this editing software, use this camera, and make a video. Make literally a retro video with whatever I decide, whether I use the set it came with or I use Star Wars figures, and it's going to be a lot of work, but I want to make, like, I don't know if it's necessarily be stop motion or what it's going to be, but I want to make like a retro Lego video with this set and post it on my YouTube channel. Because when I was a kid and I was like, you know, I think in middle school or high school, when you would go on YouTube, like when YouTube first came out, and you would look up like Lego, come on brain, Lego videos or like Lego stop motion animation, they like all of them look like they were filmed with this. They're really grainy and they're like a small box on the screen. They're not, you know, really big and look really nice. So like it's gonna be like a total throwback to be able to record, edit, and make a video with a Lego camera, Lego software, and a Lego set. So again, I'm not expecting it to go viral. It's just a fun project for me that I want to work on because it's kind of completely out of left field. I always lose my camera. I always can't figure out where it is. This is what inside of the application looks like. You can watch your movie that you made. You see the timeline set. You can add images. They have all this preloaded music in there, preloaded sounds like sound effects. You can also type in like letters and transitions and stuff like that. So like it is pretty sick. Yeah, build it, film it, show it. So anyway, super out of left field project, but I'm pretty excited about it. Gonna be a few little hoops to jump through, but I think my friend Bill, who's really good at computers, will be able to help me get it working. So I downloaded the software onto this computer I have, the 2015 computer, which is, you know, pretty old in computer standards. It was able to accept the software and I could click through the app or the editing software. So I was able to watch, like, they have like little test videos that they recorded for you and put in the program to show you what you can do with the software and the camera, and like it was super cool to watch those and click through some of the old audio files and songs that they have downloaded on there. So it was fun. When you first open the app, Steven Spielberg comes up, the little minifigure. I have him over here. This little guy like pops up on the screen and like moves around and is all animated, and he like talks you through how to use the whole editing software, and it's like, it's super cool. So I'm pretty excited about it. Fun little project. Did I ever post this or not? No, I didn't. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's the most recent set I've got. I really wanted to do a May 4th order of, you know, Jango Fett Slave 1, UCS, I don't even remember all of them, the Star Wars logo, and I wanted to get some of them, but I just haven't. We're trying to pay off my wife's student loans. She went to college to get her master's a couple years ago, and so we're trying to like save all of our extra money and pay off her student loans. So it's kind of been our priority at the moment, and so I have not been buying as much Lego. But I do have some stuff I need to sell, and then I could use it to buy more Lego. Yellow is not the color to use. We're gonna go with red. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. The other thing I'm excited about, which I'm sure I'm going to explain all this like 3 or 4 times about the set and the what else I'm going to talk about as people come in here. Almost done posting this. Oh, you got the Red Bull Speed Champions? That's awesome. The Formula 1 car. Those are super cool. I need to get some of those. Well, what I need to do first is we need to have a clean up Brick by Bricks Lego Room stream. That's what we need to do. I do have one set I could build. So I'm going to try to move all this stuff over to another shelf over here. But I really need to clean this room. I always get stuff in here and then it just stays in here. And then I have like boxes and open Lego bags and Pokemon cards that are ripped open and like just cans and bottles. It's a freaking mess in here. So I need to clean it. And the next thing I'd really like to do is like redo the shelving in here because I'm pretty much out of room. I mean, I have a little bit of space left, but I've used up a lot of the space that I have in here. So if I organize it, and I just got, I guess that was the other thing I forgot to mention. Underneath of this bin, you can see there's another bin, and I got this huge bin of bulk Legos. So now, which I even forget that I keep having, now I can like build my own, like, I don't know what the word is, like mocks. They call them mocks, where it's like your own creation or whatever. And so like I like building sets, but I also like building my own stuff. And I've never had like a lot of Lego where I can just dig through it and find pieces I need to build something. Granted, they're probably all going to be like, you know, different colors, but at least I could get a rough idea of what I want to build and then maybe order the parts I need that are color match them. But I'm pretty excited about that. It is a huge tub of Lego that I got for a pretty good deal from one of my buddies. You've got the Ferrari, the Red Bull, Williams, Mercedes, McLaren, F1 Speed Champions. Nice. Yeah, the Speed Champions look really good. I still have a mock of like a car garage over there that I need to work on. I wanted to do a bunch of stuff to it, but I couldn't because I didn't have spare parts. Now I have spare parts, so I could definitely work on that. I'd also like to get a table out here, because I need the shelving to hold the Lego sets, and then I need a table out here so I can like build on it and work on things. But all I have is this little tiny shelf thing, which is nice because it's really tall, so I like use it to like build while I'm live streaming or something. But it's not big enough because like it barely fits this one set on it. But if I had a whole table, like I could be working on a mock and a set. Do I have a Discord? I do, but I mainly use it for gaming and like playing Call of Duty, and it's not even called like Brick by Brick Together, it's called something else. So if you have Instagram, I do post a lot more on Instagram. But I know that everybody doesn't have Instagram, and I've had that happen before. Yo, it's Cool Han Luke Bricks. How you doing, buddy? I'm trying to post my live stream in the But what I will say, King, is, I would. You could follow the Couple of Brickheads podcast Discord, and I'm in there. And then I don't know. I've friended people before in Discord, and it's like, it's always like weird random people that like want something from me, and it's like, I don't want to buy what you're selling. So like, I don't know. I've had issues with sifting through Discord. I need to finish this so I can talk and stop thinking about it. Of course, it didn't save it. All I was going to do was send you a photo of my Lego collection. Oh. Well, I guess you can follow it. It's fine. You're not the problem. It's just random other people that I've had follow me, and they're like, I've had some issues. Let me see my page here. Let me type in a banner so I don't have to show you like my phone. Where is the underscore? There you go. What's up for discussion? Well, as I told King, I'd probably have to explain myself a handful of times, so it's fine. I just, anyone joining, want to keep them up to date. Is my microphone too loud? It sounds too loud to me, but I'm plugged directly into it. Just let me know if it's too loud. I was telling King about the Lego Studio set that I got. I'm sure you saw that. I don't remember if I showed you that, but I got this set. It was sealed bags, but the box was open, and it comes with a Lego camera and Lego video editing software. And I want to make a video with it, but I'm having some issues with it. The set came out in 2000, so like the operating system is like Windows 98. So I'm hoping I can download Windows XP on my computer and make it work, but we'll see. But it literally comes with like a Lego camera, which is super cool. And it's never been used before. Yeah, no, I did. I got it at a really good price. So I was talking about that. I was talking about storage in here. It's kind of a mess. I have a bunch of trash that I need to pick up and organize in here. And then I'd like to kind of redo my shelving a bit, because I finally just got a big box of bulk Lego, and so I can like build a mock, like work on other things that I have. And so I need, well, you can kind of see, you see where the shelving is, like over here. I want to raise this one up a bit because it does not need to be that low. And then I want to put like Lego storage underneath of it, where it's like the little plastic boxes that come out and you can put different Lego pieces in it. I want to get some kind of like organizing system and like storage system underneath. And then I want to get like rid of this thing and then get like a table out here so I can like actually work on stuff and not be like using this tiny little table, which works fine, but it's not big enough. And then over here on this wall, I guess I can show you guys. Hold on. Oh, I don't know if I'm zoomed out enough. We'll see. It's not very wide, and so I could make it like way wider, like this side is, and then I could fit way more Lego on it. And so I want to do that. I just need to buy a couple more of the like runners that the boards sit on, and then I could fit a lot more Lego up on the wall. So I kind of need to like go through and reorganize everything. And then on top of that, what I was getting to right before you got here was I was gonna say that I'm going to a couple of Lego conventions that I'm pretty excited about, and I'm sure that you know about one of them because I'll be seeing you there. But I'm going to Brick Cascade in Portland, which is like a 2-hour drive from where I am. And it was a really interesting story. I've never heard of it before, and they've been going for like 15 years or something like that. And so the only reason why I heard about them is because I went to Bricks and Beyond, this place, the used Lego store that I like to shop at, and he told me about it, and I was like, we have a Lego convention here? And he's like, yeah, it's like the biggest one on the West Coast. And I was like, really? Never heard of it before. And I've been into Lego for quite a while, so apparently, I don't know. It kicked me out? Oh, that was really weird. Oh, it says my internet's slow. If it's not one thing, it's another. Let me check on the internet. Statistics. Of course, there was a drop off. Dude, yeah, like looking at I use Starlink. I live out in the middle of, well, not necessarily out in the middle of nowhere, but I live 10 minutes out of town, and so I use Starlink, and it literally like completely lost connection. So, blame the satellites. Anyway, my internet's typically pretty good and a lot better than it used to be. What was I talking about? Brick Cascade. I didn't know that. I'm peek in the microphone. I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, I've been into Lego for a long time, but I'd never heard of them, and I mean, partially, I guess that's me to blame, but I swear I've like Googled like brick conventions near me, and like the closest one I've heard of is Utah, because I always want to call. I mean, his name is Josh, but I was trying to remember his channel's name. Fit Lego Guy. Fit Lego Guy was talking about a convention in Utah, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I think there's. I don't even think there's one in California. I think they just have the Comic-Con or whatever. Yeah, Lego Fit Guy. Again, if you're not following him, go follow him. Great content. I've live streamed with him before. He's a great guy. Anyway, so I'm like, there's no conventions around here. There's like, am I saying this right? I need to look it up. Okay, yeah, it's Brick Cascade. There was another Lego convention. Well, I don't call it convention. It's like a Lego thing going on. I keep poking myself or something. And it was, I can't remember the name of it, but everyone in the Lego space was complaining around it. They were like popping up and traveling around like to different states, and like they were advertising it as a convention, but like there was like 5 sets that they had built there, and then like a big bin of Lego on the ground that kids could play with, and like that was it. There was like nothing there, and it was like literally set up for 3-year-olds. And so like that was the only event that I had seen, online for like a convention around here. And so I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I was just like, you know, I have to fly to Virginia, I have to fly to Utah, I have to like plan a whole trip to go to convention. I didn't think there was one here, and then I found out about them. Anyway, so what I did was I started following them about 6 months ago, because my friend Austin at Bricks and Beyond, I really can't wait till Bricks and Beyond has a website, because I'm going to be sending you guys over there all the time to buy Lego. But anyway, he told me about it like 6 months ago. I followed their Instagram, and then, I mean, this event is like coming up. Like it's literally it's this weekend, and I'd kind of forgot about it. And then they finally posted like the other day about, oh yeah, Brick Cascade's coming up, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it's coming up. And then I was like, wait, you guys only posted to promote your event a week before it happens? And I went back up to Bricks and Beyond the other day, and he had just gotten the flyers for the Brick Convention to hand out to people, literally like that day that I showed up, like 3 days ago. And so like, I'm like, how are people going to show up to this convention if nobody talks about it, nobody promotes it? And so I kind of got into a little tiff with them on Facebook, and I said, y'all started advertising too late. You posted like 7 days before the event. And I said, you know, I had lived here a long time, never heard of it. And then they said, you must live under a massive pile of Lego, or you must have a massive pile of Lego that you're hiding under. This is our 14th year at the Oregon Convention Center putting on this event. And I was like, well, I'm excited to go to this for the first time. Glad to be a part of this like exclusive niche group. If it wasn't for, you know, Bricks and Beyond in Salem, I wouldn't have any idea about it. I said I live in this town, which I'm not going to name, but I'm sure people will figure it out eventually. And I said I'm pretty far away from Portland. I said, but I'm excited to attend this event as an appetizer for Brick World Chicago, because I'm going to that right after this convention. And, oh, the comment's not showing up, but I waited a while, and then they finally responded. Let me see if I can find it. So I said I'm gonna use Brick Cascade as an appetizer for Brickworld Chicago because it's pretty well known that like Brickworld Chicago is like the biggest Lego event, or yeah. I think I have a sliver in my finger. I keep poking myself. But Brickworld Chicago is like the biggest convention for Lego in the United States. Like, pretty much hands down. I mean, what other convention do all the Lego YouTubers fly out to go to, and the creators, and, you know, Lego set designers, and like the whole 9 yards? Like, who, what other, like, sure, there's Brick Fair Virginia, I hear is pretty big, and Brick Fair Atlanta, but from what I've seen, Brickworld Chicago still looks bigger to me anyways. I mean, I haven't been to either of them, but anyway. And so they replied, Bricks Cascades media person, or I don't know who it was, replied and said, "That's not us. That's a copycat East Coast company." And I was just like, whoa, okay. Okay. I didn't reply. I thought about saying something snarky back, but I was just like, okay. I mean, you know, I don't see M&R Productions flying all the way across the U.S. to go to your event, but whatever. But I didn't say anything back, but it was just really funny. I feel like that's my hive rant for the video. But yeah, it's just like, they're like, oh, they're East Coast copycats. Man, people are so entitled over here, it's crazy. They're like quite rude. I like cars. I don't know if all of you know that, but I like cars. And so I used to go to a Cars and Coffee, and they used to do like the big one up in Portland, because, you know, it's the biggest city in the state. And you know, unfortunately, when everyone thinks of Oregon, they think of Portland, but there's a lot more to Oregon than just Portland. It's kind of its own thing. Keep Portland weird, yeah. Anyway, I'm into cars, so I went to a big Cars and Coffee meet. Well, when I get there and start talking to these guys, they're like super exclusive. They don't really want new members, blah, blah, blah. There's like all this drama. I'm not going to get into all of it. But they're like, no, this is the Cars and Coffee. Anyone else who's ever had an event and called it Cars and Coffee is copying us. We were the original people who created Cars and Coffee. And I was just like, what? No, you're not. And then for like Brick Cascade to be like, oh, Brickworld Chicago is just an East Coast copycat. Just like, you guys are not the first ones to come up with a brick convention. Like, and you know, maybe, I don't know when Brickworld Chicago started, but like, still though, you don't have to be like that rude about it. Like, I can be excited about going to multiple conventions across the US, and you could be excited with me, but you're like choosing to like be like, oh, well, they're just copycats, they're not as cool as us, basically. And it's just like, whatever, man. I'm done talking to you. Your marketing, I wanted to say your marketing team sucks, because they do. I've lived in Oregon in the same town my entire life. I'm turning 29 in June, and I've never heard of your event, so your marketing team sucks. I've gone up to Portland. I used to compete in Mindstorms competitions. We like went to state to compete against all the other schools to like, you'd build a Mindstorms robot and it would complete all these challenges, and then whoever had the best time and got the most points would win. And we like made it to state and went up there, and I still like never heard of Brick Cascade. So like, you know, I've been around. It's just really weird. Yeah, so I'm excited to go check it out and see what it's like. I have done like no vlog content on this channel, and I'm not opposed to, and it'll be a nice test for me before I go to Brickworld Chicago. So I'm gonna take, you guys are looking through a GoPro Hero 8. excuse me, I need to like make sure my batteries work. I have all my attachments, my tripod, make sure I have some memory cards that are free so I can record for a few hours. And I want to like, I'm not gonna record everything that happens, but you know, I don't know. I'm trying to decide between live stream or vlog, because vlog's a lot easier, and I don't know what the internet's gonna be like there. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna have a problem with me live streaming. I don't think they would know that I was live, because I could just turn on my camera, have you guys live checking it out, and then I could just have my phone up and read the comments and like kind of talk back to you guys a little bit. But I don't know. I think vlogging might be easiest, and so it'll be there's the rooster. It'll be interesting for me to try vlogging. I understand the basics of it. I've watched enough vlogs that I think I can do it, as long as I have my audio working and my camera lighting set up all right. It should be fine. And then, you know, either I've seen people do both. You can either talk over your vlog while you're there and just record what you're saying, or you can just record all the content, come home and speak over it with a microphone. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. And now that I have a nice new fancy computer, I can actually edit a vlog. So pretty excited about that. I definitely would like a better camera, but the GoPro Hero 8 is not bad. It does 1080p and 4K, so. You have to name him Cogburn. Yeah, I agree, Cool Han. Again, if you wanna come on here, you can. It sounded like in your messages you sent me that you were kind of busy, and I don't want to take away time from your family. So I guess I don't know how long I'm gonna be live. I was hoping for like an hour, and I've been live for 48 minutes. So I don't know. I need to make I'd like to go longer, but I need to make dinner, so. Rooster Krogburn from the True Grit movie. That's not a bad name. That's that's a pretty good idea. But man, he is going at it right now. Of course, as soon as I turn up my microphone, he quits. Anyway, so there's a little bit of drama with Brick Cascade, but I'm excited about it. It's supposed to be good. Gonna probably end up vlogging it. Yeah, it's close-ish, and you know, I don't really need a lot of Lego. I'm really trying to save money for Brickworld Chicago. I'm trying to work as much as I can so that I can pay for my... Okay, yeah, again, no hurry. You don't have to get on if you don't want to. But it would be good to see you. But I'm really excited to hang out with you guys at Brickworld Chicago. So, there goes the rooster again. He's super loud. I want Instagram to come on this page. There we go. I'll just send him the link now. That way I don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I kind of screwed up. I don't know. I can't remember whose stream I was in. I think I was in Coolhan Luke Bricks streamed, and then Ostif turned on a stream right after it. We all went from one stream to the other, and then I was talking and I was like, oh, I haven't bought my tickets yet, my plane flights yet, and they're like, oh, you should do that before it gets expensive. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. So, you know, I was tired and been streaming for a long time, and I bought my plane tickets, and I did get the right dates, so that was good. My issue is on Sunday, I don't know, I have a lot going on. I presume I have work on Monday, and most of the time I have to get up early for work, so, you know, 4 o'clock-ish in the morning, and so I didn't want to fly into Portland at 8 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and then, you know, not get home till midnight, and then get 3 hours of sleep, and then go to work. And so I was trying to, like, move the times around right, and I don't know if it's a mistake or not. I need to ask other people when they're leaving Brickworld, but my flight leaves at 12:30 from Chicago, and then I get back here by 3:30, and then I can drive 2 hours home, you know, and then it's like, you know, dinner time by the time I get home, have time to rest a little bit, eat dinner, and then go to bed and go to work on Monday. But thinking about it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be there for like 3 or 4 days, but I'm only gonna be there all day Saturday for the public days, and then I don't know, maybe gonna get to walk through the convention for like an hour or less on Sunday. And I was like, I didn't think through that very well. And so by the time I thought about it, I couldn't change the flight. Well, I can, but they want like $230 to like change one of my flights by like 4 hours so I could hang out at Brickworld more on Sunday. And then I was like, that's as much as I spent on my plane tickets to begin with, because I paid like $375 for plane tickets, and then they want another $250 just to change one of my flights. And I was just like, oh man, what a headache. What I thought though is maybe while I'm at Brickworld is I could cancel my returning flight and then see if I could buy a last minute ticket at a later time and then not have to pay as much for it. But I don't know, it's kind of risky. But yeah, I don't know, I'm still thinking about it. I think I'm gonna pop out and grab a drink of water real quick here, and then I will come back, and maybe Coolhan Luke Bricks will be here. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping just to talk with Coolhan Luke Bricks. I don't know. All I've done on my channel is build Lego sets and talk to chat, and I enjoy that, but it's way better to interact with somebody else. So it'll be exciting to talk to Coolhan Luke Bricks. But like, it just becomes a lot when you're building sets because it's hard to focus on chat, it's hard to focus on my build. And the other problem is I have to continuously buy a Lego set for every single stream to build, and it gets a bit overwhelming. And then I have, you know, all of these sets, and I'm like trying to give them away so I can have more room to buy another set. So I don't know, I I mostly wanted to get on here just to chat with you guys, but I want to plan some more streams with like more action in them, with like a more of a script, so to speak. That way, like, there's a bit of a flow to it. But that's just something I gotta work on. Okay, cool, Han. I'm gonna go out and get some water, so I'm gonna I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna go grab a drink of water. Set is very hard to move. So this set comes with a dinosaur. His mouth opens. It's pretty cool. And his tail wags back and forth. And it comes with these like mini skyscrapers, so you can like have him like walking through the skyscrapers, and he looks really big, like Godzilla. He's like, boom, boom, boom. Like, it's pretty funny. And they have like tiny little like cars that are supposed to be a part of that prop. And they have also like a miniature dinosaur that you can put up against the tiny little buildings to make it look like they're bigger. And then it's got this big dinosaur foot, so you can put it close to the camera and be like, boom, boom, boom. And it's like, it's just a really cool set that comes with a lot of stuff. And these buildings, they fall down, you just pull back on a little tab, and then you go. It kind of scares me because it has like actual plastic inside of the windows, which most Lego windows don't, and so I don't want to break them, but you know, it'd be nice to use the play feature. Alright, without further ado, we have Cool Han Luke Bricks. Be sure to, you know, if you're new here, go follow him, because he's got a great show, and I'm on there fairly frequently.
Always good to have you, mate.
It's good to hear from you too, dude.
So I heard. Oh, just before I clicked off to get the link, heard you talking about the flight situation.
Yeah. When are you flying out on Sunday?
We're flying out. Me and Whittaker are flying out at. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but I think it's about 10 p.m.
Okay, yeah.
So we'd have to, but we got to be there, like, for international flights, got to be there about 3 hours before. So I worked it out so that we should be able to see the closing ceremony and pretty much go straight away. Because Austin was going to take us back to the airport.
Nice.
But I don't know. Like, Slurpy's leaving a lot earlier. I think he's leaving early Sunday. I'm pretty sure he's leaving early Sunday. Because he's heading over to California.
Nice.
Before he comes home. And yeah, I've heard a couple of people who are leaving actually on the Sunday, ready for work Monday or whatever. But I'm quite lucky because I got a couple of days off at the beginning of the following week as well. So
have some time to recover.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to do this thing these guys are doing, where they're like up till God
3 o'clock in the morning, and then going to bed for 2 hours, then getting up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mate, no, I can't do it. Not at my age. No chance. I'll just be a mess. I'll just end up being a grumpy bastard and chinning somebody or something. I'll just, it won't be good to be around. So I need to get my sleep. But no, look, obviously, you know, I get the whole FOMO thing. You know, you can be like leaving when you feel like, but you know, it's gonna happen at some point anyway.
Yeah, and
so whether you want to spend that extra money, I don't know.
Yeah, at this point, I thought about it a lot yesterday, and I don't think I'm gonna change it at this point. It's just I may make like a last minute decision while I'm there to change it.
Yeah.
If I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss out on so much if I fly out of here at noon, like I have to be here, then I might try to last minute change my flights, or like cancel my flight and then just book a one-way ticket back and see if I could get a good deal or something.
Yeah, you might. Yeah, I was going to say you might get a good last minute deal or something. Yeah. What time? When did you say you were getting there though?
I'm getting there on when I'm flying out from here at 7 a.m. But the itinerary says that I will be at the airport in Brickworld, Chicago, at 1 o'clock on Wednesday.
Right.
And so that leaves me plenty of yes, I'm gonna be tired, but I'm not gonna be completely tired. So I'm gonna be able to interact with people and do some fun stuff Wednesday night, but nothing too crazy. And then go to bed, get 8 hours of sleep, and then I have all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, and I feel like by the time Sunday rolls around, I've walked through the convention center, like 30 times. Granted, the first couple days maybe not all the mocks will be built and stuff like that, but for sure Saturday everything will be built, everything will be working, the lights will be on.
Yeah.
Freaking Rooster, man. So,
no, I think you're right.
I don't think I'm going to be missing out on much. I mean, I kind of forgot about the closing ceremony, but do they just have people come up on stage and talk for a minute and then they say goodbye, everybody? I'd have to look at the itinerary again.
Yeah, I obviously I wouldn't know because obviously it's my first time as well. But when I say the closing ceremony, I don't really care about that as such. It's just that I looked at when it closes, like what the closing time is.
It's 3. I know that.
Is it 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah, and on Saturday it's open from like 10 to 4, and then Sunday it's 10 to 3. So it's only open for like 5 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize that. I can't really remember. I might have to have another quick look because I get confused because obviously I've been looking at the time that we land. I know we land about 10 o'clock in the morning. No, that's the following day. Yeah, because we lose the hours going back. It's really confusing. But
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean it's like 7.5 hour flight. Plus we got to take into consideration we've got to be at the airport like a minimum of 3 hours before. So I've completely lost track of it. I mean, I've got it on my phone. I could look at it now, but that's what really matters. But the long and the short of it is that yeah, we're gonna be there till the end. But the only thing I was considering the other day is I'm assuming we have to check out of the hotel on Sunday morning. So we're gonna be.
I think you have to check out before 9 or 10.
Really?
I think it said. I can't. I just looked at everything yesterday and I'm a little fuzzy, but I kind of remember looking at it. But I could pull up the email here, but I think it's like 9. You have to check out by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, well, that's going to be weird because it means then that we've got to knock around with our bags all day, suitcase and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be too bad, I guess, because just chuck them in Austif's car, I guess, because we're going to be going and put them in there at some point anyway, and then just knock about with a bag. But,
okay, you're all right. The standard checkout time is 11 a.m. You'll still have some time, but not like completely all day. To where
some
you have to
hotels
pack your luggage around.
Yeah, some hotels as well on the day of checkout, especially because obviously they got a convention going on that day. They might let us keep every hotel I've been in around the world where I've had a flight that's a lot later than the checkout time. They've always let us keep the suitcases there somewhere safe, like a separate room or whatever. So I dare say they'll have something like that. Yeah, so I dare say they'll have something like that.
I would think so, because they're going to have a lot of people going in and out and being there all day, but having to check out so they can clean up the rooms. But they'll probably have to have a room where, they're storing people's luggage. That way they can start cleaning up the rooms.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll manage anyway. We'll work something out. But, yeah. I mean, we're going to be the same as you. The difference is we're getting there Tuesday afternoon, so we'll get our kind of settling in out the way on the Tuesday, and then I think a lot of people are arriving. I think I was chatting to True Squadron. I think he said he's arriving on the Wednesday. Quite a few people arriving on the Wednesday. So how are you getting to the airport? From the airport to the
I think this is my brother Hunter. Your legs are gonna hurt so bad after 3 days of walking around the convention. Yes, they're gonna be sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like broke my pelvis in 2019, so I hobble, sometimes I hobble around like an old man.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was crazy.
Was it like falling? What was it? Falling off a horse or something? Oh no, it was in a car accident, wasn't it?
Yeah, I wish it was a cool story, but I'll just pull up the picture of one so we don't have to speculate about it. I don't know why they reorganized all of the folders on like the iPhones for where their pictures are, and I always have a hard time finding my favorites list. There we go. So I was driving, and the brightness is too much.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you telling me now. Yeah.
I was
Golf
driving
golf cabbie.
literally something like this, and it was there was two of them. We were going down on a farm to go move some water lines, some irrigation lines, and one was in front of me, and I came up behind the other one, and it was kind of dusty because it's just a gravel road, and I bumped into them a little bit, and apparently the opposing treads of the tires like popped my vehicle up, and it got on its side, and then my coworker bumped into me and kicked me out, and it was hopping as it was coming to a stop, and I like got caught underneath of it, and it like landed on me. Those big roll bars that were on top of it, like landed on me. I was on my side, it was on its side, and it like came to a stop, and like it hurt really bad.
I can imagine. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can imagine. I remember you saying as soon as you said about it, I was like, oh, was it a horse he got knocked off, or did he flip a car or something like that? I remember you must have told me at some point because it was kind of half there. Yeah. Wow. But that is still kind of a cool story. I'm just gonna dox my
Damn,
name.
sorry, huh? Sorry. I just like in my mind, I know who you are. I'm having a hard time just reading your username. Sorry.
What does dox mean?
Like, like give it up. Like tell everyone my real name.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you anyway. I didn't hear you say his name.
But anyway.
But yeah, that is quite a cool story. But no, so what? Do you have like mobility issues then at all, or just?
I have some like nerve damage on the outside of my legs. They feel kind of like hypersensitive in some areas. They have gotten better, but I still have some issues. And then I have some low back pain, some sciatic nerve pain, and I didn't get as much physical therapy as I needed because of an insurance issue where we were kind of, it's a long story, but we were going back and forth where they would only approve me for like 5 days of physical therapy at a time, and then I would have to go back to the doctor to have him approve me for more physical therapy, and he would take a long time to send the paperwork to my insurance, and my insurance would take a long time to approve it. And so what would happen is 3 weeks out of the month they would be doing paperwork stuff to approve me for insurance, and then the end of the month would come along and it would say, oh, you have 10 visits to physical therapy before the end of the month. And I'm like, guys, there's 6 days left in the end of the month and I can hardly walk, and you want me to go to physical therapy every day of the week. It was crazy. And then the final straw is I called my doctor to make an appointment, but I also said, hey, I talked to the nurse and I said, could you just talk to the doctor and have him fill out the paperwork? And because it's obvious, I've broken a major part of my body. I need more physical therapy. All he has to do is fill out a super small form and then send it to them. And I told her, I said, could you just have the doctor fill out the form and then send it to my insurance? Because it's a lot of work for me to drive all the way across town, meet with the doctor, do all the things. And so I asked her to do it for me, and then she said she would. And then apparently she never talked to the doctor. And then my insurance accused me of not being willing to go to my doctor appointment. And so they stopped paying for physical therapy because I wasn't willing to go to the doctor. Like, I was refusing care. And so I was just like, whatever, guys. You guys, like, they were doing... And then whenever I would, like, call them to fix the problem, they would all blame each other and not take accountability for it. And so it was such a headache. But anyway, so, like, my legs are kind of... I don't know. Some physical aspects have changed because I'd try to show you the break, but I don't think it'd show up very well through the camera, but I can show you when I'm in Brick World. But I broke it pretty bad in 3 places, and then I don't know, I feel like I also didn't walk for almost 3 months, 4 months, and so I had a lot of atrophy from laying in bed for that long. And so your muscles kind of forget how to do what they used to do. And so I had to, like, kind of relearn how to walk and, like, push my weight down through the tip of my toe and then rock or step down on my heel and then rock all the way to the tip of your toe, and it, like, engages a bunch of different muscles. And so I don't know, it's complicated stuff, but I walk a little bit differently than I used to, and my legs are kind of closer together. The way I walk, I don't walk quite properly, and so I get, like, if I walk for a long ways, I get chafing or something like that, and just it's kind of uncomfortable. The most uncomfortable thing for me is to stand. If I just stand in one place for a long period of time and don't move, like, I can only do it for, like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 minutes max, and then I'm, like, begging for a chair to sit down in.
So, do they think there's going to be, like, long-term issues like as you get older as well?
They said it will take a few years to see the end result, like the new you, like what's going to be normal, because, like, so much stuff can change over time with healing, because, like, bones take a long time to heal. But basically I had to hire a lawyer and tell the insurance company paid me some for my injuries, and because there's, like, literally a calculated number for, like, and it's never enough, but it was a calculated number for, like, what my life-changing injury did to my body, basically. But I don't know, it's a miracle I can walk. I mean, the doctor looked at my x-rays and said, usually with breaks this bad, I'm determining the cause of death, because your arteries, the biggest arteries in your body, run right through your pelvis down through your legs.
Wow.
And if it breaks and then nicks one of those arteries, you can bleed out in, like, 15 or 20 minutes.
Damn.
And so the doctor said I'm lucky to be alive, let alone walk. And so, like, it was in my mind, it was Jesus. I don't know how I'm alive or able to walk, because he said I shouldn't be able to walk. So he was pretty surprised at how well I recovered. So with some of the issues I have, I try not to complain about them, because I should more than likely be stuck in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you compare it to what could have happened,
yeah,
I guess you got to count yourself quite lucky, but still.
Yeah. It's still unfortunate, but I'm happy with being able to walk and stuff. Hey, Slurpee. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
What's up, man?
Hope you're doing well.
How's the animation going?
Yeah, I'm excited. Is he working on one for Brickworld?
He is, yeah.
That's cool.
He's keeping it quite close to his chest.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't want any information. I was just wondering, like, specifically why he was making it.
We were talking indirectly yesterday through, because we tend to talk via recorded messages on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's like, he was saying that he might send me, like, a prelim or a shot or something, and I'm like, I kind of want to see it just to be able to say I know.
You know a little bit more than other people.
Yeah. But at the same time, I don't want to know because I want to be excited and
surprised like everybody else. Yeah. Yeah, I need to do a better job of, I don't know, I want to have set days and times to stream so that people in their mind can be like, oh, so-and-so's going live on this day at this time every week. And it's a lot better for people to show up to. But it's harder for me because I have a family, have a 3-year-old, and I work a job that is really demanding and is also some days on, some days off, and it's unpredictable. And so in my mind, I just try to make it okay, I'm not available all week. And so it's hard for me to set a time. Well, yours is on Sunday, which is a good time because a lot of people aren't working. But it's tough for me because if I want to be on your show, I have to skip church to be there or skip out on other things to be there, which is not a big deal because I do want to be there. And you've only had me on officially the one time, but I've joined a few other streams, which has been a lot of fun. But I don't want to I don't want to overlap other people's streams, and I guess if I wanted to do a weekly stream, it would have to be on a weekend probably. And then what you're really good at doing is coming up with an itinerary of this is what we're talking about here and here and here, and sure, it kind of goes off the rails sometimes, but in general, you're not just sitting there oh, what did you do today, Slurpee? Oh, I worked on some Lego. It's just kind of boring, but you guys have topics you talk about, and the show keeps a pretty good flow in my opinion compared to even some podcasts where they kind of go off the rails. But I just need to come up with things to do.
Yeah, I think we're quite lucky because I tend to be good at kind of blagging it, I guess, and being able to talk and come up with a conversation and turn anything into a conversation and just stretch something out or shorten it or make it more exciting. I got that kind of gift of the gab, if you like, which comes from just work and experience and whatever, and a little bit of my personality. But also, that can get tedious on its own. So I also know that my voice can be people tell me all the time, my voice can get, if I was just the only person talking, it'd be monotonous. So to be able to have that variety in the show as well, with not only different accents because the guys are from different places, but also different sort of personalities, and just kind of mixes it up. So I don't think I ever would, if I was still doing it on my own, well, basically the point is I wouldn't still be doing it on my own. I would have given up after 3 or 4 episodes. It's them guys and the guests that we have on and the chat, and obviously the watchers, the viewers, that sort of drive me to do it every day. That's not to say that I'm ever dreading it or ever don't want to do it, but I know I would have been I can't do this every week. So that is part of the key for us, which I know if you're on your own, that's going to be a struggle, because you've got to find something that, and you might not be the type of person who wants to have people on all the time. You might prefer to do your own thing, but you're right though, finding a time that suits you that you can do regular, it is the key to it, essentially.
It really is.
But also, because obviously consistency is key, right? But even with our thing, the only reason we're consistent, or we seem consistent from the out, is because we got other people who can keep it running. That makes sense. So there's enough of us now where if 1 or 2 or 3 or even 4 of us can attend, then we've still got 2 or 3 who can, and that kind of helps. So we've bolstered the ranks a little bit. And like I said, iClass was one of the people who was in the wings, where if ever we need extra people, we did get some feedback once that it can be a bit overwhelming when there's too many people on when you're trying to deliver a message. I don't think that's the case when you've got people on for the sake of having lots of people on to talk and to chat and just to spitball. I think that works.
Yeah.
So when we have the boys episodes where we have less of a topic based and more of a kind of let's see where this goes, then it's more people and it works. But when you've got a guest on and you want to be able to commit time to them, like I always go back to when we had Josh on, Fit Lego Guy, and I remember watching the stream back, and I think it was my fiance who pointed it out. She said, "Oh, like he felt like he was a rabbit in headlights because not only was he probably not being able to keep up with like our language and the way we were talking and stuff, but there was so much going on, and he was supposed to be the guest. And I watched it back myself, and I was just like, I felt so sorry for the guy, but you know, because he could just see he was like really bewildered, like what's kind of happening. I mean, I've spoken to him since about it, and he's like, "No, I was fine, like, not a problem. Maybe it was just the way I was reading into it." But I think those lessons I learned along the way, where it's like, right, when we've got a guest on, we need to make sure it's a bit more streamlined and streamed to them, so they can get a chance to come out that element, rather than just be, we've got a guest on, but we're all just going to talk about stuff we know about, and lots of in jokes and stuff like that, and they're just like
hanging out.
So we tried to kind of break that barrier down quite early on, but and the same now with Josh as yourself, where he's popped on a couple of streams. But yeah, I think you're right though in the whole trying to find something. And like obviously I'm talking now, and I always do this. I'm talking now as if we're like at the pinnacle of something, which we're a million miles away from. But it has helped to have a group of us. So like that's why I said to you and Josh, I think quite similar in your like mannerisms, your personality and stuff like that. So if you guys could somehow, work out a time that both of you could do, and rally a few other people who could kind of stand in, like myself, I would happily stand in if needs be, if there's a host, who can make it, and you guys do a show together. And but the only thing I would say is if you're going to do it, and this is the part that's frustrating, which is something I wish I'd done, because I kind of started my channel when I started this. This show.
The show, yeah.
Whereas you guys have both got a relatively decent following on your own channels. So if you were to start a show together, and I'm only using this as an example, if you were to start a show together, you'd have to start a new channel to make it fair.
Yeah.
But then of course you're starting from scratch, effectively, in terms of your followers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what do you do? So yeah. So in your case, you just need to, and that's the bit I feel guilty about every day, because it's like, these guys have built this show as much as I have, if not more, in some ways, and my name's above the door every day, kind of thing. Like, and it just kind of feels a bit like, we should have just, especially because I didn't have a following before I started it. I should have really thought, right, but obviously, hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? So, but no, I think you just got to find something.
Thanks, Slurpee, for stopping by.
Must head out here. I always can hear it in his accent as well when I read it out.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, oh. But
thank you, Slurpee.
Yeah. So no, I definitely think you should. I mean, even like, so what time would you said the weekends, right? So what time would be best for you?
Yeah, I need.
What's a perfect time for you, or is there no set perfect time? Because you're like 8 hours behind us, aren't you? So it'd be like,
it's tough to compare to your guys' time zone, but yeah, it'd be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for you guys. But I don't know. I feel really spread thin with my time.
Yeah.
And like, I even struggle with it without having YouTube stream or a show or whatever, and so like I'm trying to like, my thing I like to do for fun, my thing I like to do for fun with my friends on Saturday night is I like to play Call of Duty, and I have like I don't say a ton of friends, but I have a pretty good sized group of friends. Like, some of them are over here, like there's different groups of like friends that play it, and so like sometimes I'll play with Ryan and his friends, and sometimes I'll play with Schmitty and his Twitch channel and some of his friends, and then sometimes I play with my church friends, and so I have these different groups of people that, depending on who's on or what they're doing, I'll play with them. And so I like to do that on Saturday nights. And I was playing it too much, but I've been trying to cut back down the time to where it's like, you know, I'm spending more family time and more time doing work and stuff like that. So I've kind of gone through a whole thing of dealing with I had a spell of dealing with depression and a lot of things this winter, and so I kind of reset everything. I got off of Instagram for a while, got off of, like, I literally like got rid of my phone, and I don't know where I said it. All I had was an Apple Watch, and so all you can do with the Apple Watch is make phone calls and send text messages. And there's a couple other apps on there, but you can't really do much with them. And so, like, it was kind of nice to like get off of all the screen time, because like I kind of have, I don't know what you want to call it. I sometimes I'll just sit down and scroll through my phone too much when I'm not doing anything.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, and then you don't feel good about it whenever you're done with it, and then you can't sleep, and then it just creates all these problems. And then I went to the doctor and got blood work done, and then I found I have all these other problems, and like I'm low on vitamin D, I'm low on vitamin B12. I'm just like, holy moly.
Jesus.
So I'm finally coming out of all of that. I haven't really explained this to anybody yet, but I'm kind of coming out of all that. So I'm like looking at the idea of live streaming again, because I kind of just had to take a break from everything. I enjoy posting shorts because they're easy and they're kind of fun, like for me, because like I have I didn't have the resources at the time to make like long form content, and so it was just the easiest thing for me to make. And then YouTube was pushing it through the algorithm, and so more people were seeing it, and so it was in my opinion, the fastest way to get followers. And then after I got a good amount of followers, then my idea was to post longer form content like vlogs or just reviews or whatever, like a normal YouTube channel would have, a Lego YouTube channel. And then I get more interactions than 1 or 2 views. Maybe I get 50, which would be a lot better if I have, a bunch of shorts followers. And then, I go live and, I have, 15, 20 people on. That would be nice. But that was kind of my trajectory idea of like how to kind of get where I'm going. But I don't know. I also don't have these huge outlandish goals of like having, 10,000 followers or 100,000 followers or 1 million followers. I don't have all these like check marks I want to hit. It's just like I enjoy Lego a lot, and I want to show my experience with my friends like you and other people in the community, and to whoever subscribes to my channel if they want to watch it. And then it's just kind of more like a hobby thing for fun. And sure, like I don't know, I don't know what I would do if I had 10,000 followers, like I would feel really obligated to make content for them all the time, and I would feel, maybe they'd want merch, or maybe I don't know. I guess crazy outlandish goal of mine would be, I've thought about it quite a bit, of owning my own Lego store at some point, like a used Lego store. But I don't know, I've talked to a lot of people, I have friends that have them, and it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. You're sorting Legos a lot, and you got to be pretty passionate about it. And so I like collecting things. I'm just bad at selling them. So I don't know if I'd be good at having a Lego store.
Yeah, lots of income and no outgoing there.
Yeah, it'd be Garrett's collection, but some things are for sale.
Well, like I said, I think probably what would be better for you then, if you wanted to, like I said, everything you've got that you're doing at the moment sounds like it's working for you or whatever. But if the bit that you feel like you're missing is like a regular live stream, even if you just kind of did, I don't know, like an hour, and said, look, it's ours is kind of starts at 7, the end time is kind of you know, and obviously it's gone on and on different times depending on what's going on. But even if you just said, like, I don't know, let's just say, for example, midday on a Sunday for an hour, and it's just a set time, that would pull people in, because sometimes people like to have something they can watch the whole thing, like watching an episode of a TV show or whatever, where they're like, right, I can tune in there now. And you obviously got to find a time that's going to capture the most people in terms of, you know, across the US. And then, but obviously it'd need to have, you know, it would need to have something to, what is you going to talk about? You'd need to have like even if you just do like one topic each week, or you could be like, my week in review, you know, this set has been released, what did I think of it, throw up some images, whatever, you know. And then just, you know, maybe you could just reach out to some people and say, look, do you want to be on for an hour next week, and we can just both talk about the set, or just keep it to just two people, or you and a guest, or you and the same person every week, or whatever it is. So so I think what Ken and Brick Dynasty, Ken and Chris, I always forget the guy's name because it's an unusual name, Saunders, Ken and Saunders over on Brick Dynasty, they've got a good thing. It's just the two of them, and they've got another guy who works behind the scenes, doesn't show his face, but he does a lot of the kind of digital stuff, and like I don't exactly know what he does, but so they got a kind of good thing going on. It's just the two of them. They do have guests on, I think, now and then. I mean, at one point I don't think they really did, but they do now, and it is kind of a little bit more guest focused. Then they don't sort of dick about as much like we do, and which, you know, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because sometimes you want to break from that. I feel like it's a bit more serious and a bit more like, you know, they kind of really hone in on a topic and they really kind of discuss it, so you feel like, whereas with us it's like, we throw it on the table, we throw it around a little bit, it falls off the table at some point, and we move on to something else. So it's a little bit kind of loose, and I think both have a place out there, but that's the biggest thing, is trying to find, like you said earlier, like finding a niche or whatever, however you said it, but it's finding something that's a little bit different. It was easy for us. It was easy. Sorry, go on.
That's what I've wanted to do, like with the whole channel anyways, is like, I don't know, it's hard because a lot of things have been done, and so it's really hard not to copy somebody. And so like, but that was kind of my main kind of, I guess, loosely held goal, was like, okay, I don't want to copy everyone, but I don't know, even some of my shorts are kind of copying people because they use a certain, like, oh, we're gonna show 30 minifigures, and, you know, like, comment, and subscribe for your favorite figure or whatever, or like, it would, you know, there's kind of a playbook for it. And so, like, I'm kind of copying the playbook style, but, like, I have my own minifigures. I guess I'm copying and pasting an audio clip, because the audio clip is part of the way that YouTube pulls people into watching the same stuff and promoting it, is because these little sound bites that people use will have, you know, like 500,000 views on the sound bite, and if you use the sound bite, it will help more people see your video, because they're already getting recommended videos like that with that soundbite in it.
Right, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so again, with making shorts for like a year and a half, I got a little bit of experience per se of I don't know, I'm not the best at it, but I had some good videos that got like 10,000 views or so, which is pretty good for shorts. So I figured out a little bit of it, but I don't know all of it. But there's certain things that help, and so I don't know. I guess I'm not sitting here sweating, thinking like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with my channel? Because like, I don't want it to be stressful. I want it to be a hobby, fun thing, and I like interacting with people and meeting new people. And I've really had a great experience getting to know you and being on your channel, and like just like for that for me is just like it's made my whole year. So like I don't I don't feel like I have to do more, but I also do have 1,700 subscribers, and granted not all of them are clicking on my page on a daily basis looking for me, but there's a good amount of them that are like wondering where I am. I've had people comment saying like, where are you, you disappeared. I was just like,
yeah,
I'm okay, but I just like needed a break there for a while. So I don't know. I guess the best thing is, I mean, I've seriously, like with shorts, I've been able to film something really quick before I go to work, or film something when I get home after work, and then I can literally be at work and then edit it and get it the way I want it while I'm at work for like my lunch break or something real quick, and then I can post it while I'm at work, and it's like not a big deal. It's fun, and people seem to enjoy it. I typically get like 2,000 to 5,000 views on a post if I do a good job, and so like that's a fair amount of traffic. Granted, like it's easy content, and it's not, you know, I would prefer something more polished, like, you know, a 10-minute video explaining something I'm excited about, or a Lego set, or hey, did you know this? And I have, I don't know, Lego ideas for videos. It's just, if I do, like, for whatever reason, making a Lego fish tank is super popular on, or at least gets lots of views on, like, YouTube, because I've searched it up before, like, oh, how about building a fish tank out of Lego? Every video on there has, like, at least 10,000 views or more. Like, there's some with millions of views about, because there's a huge population of people that are into aquariums and keeping fish, and so you're getting an entire different audience by building a fish tank that either has Lego in it or is made out of Lego. And so like I thought that I could do that, but you know, that's going to take a lot of time of getting a tank or building a tank, gluing it together, getting the fish, getting the water, and like doing all of the things. Like that could take like me a month to complete that one video. And there's some people that's what they do for YouTube. They like make one video a month, but it's a really good video, and so they get lots of views and it like works out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I prefer to, the shorts are quick and easy to make. I like doing live streams. I just wanted to get to know people, and so I'm not opposed to just they don't have to just be about me, but a lot of my streams have been just building streams, which has been fun, and I've got to meet a lot of cool people and talk to them, but it's kind of hard to keep a conversation going with chat while you're like trying to build and look at chat and then be productive and entertaining and like talk about, like, you know, I'm talking about leaks and ideas I have while trying to build, while seeing what chat's saying, and it can kind of be a lot. And then on top of that, I'm buying a brand new Lego set every week or whatever in order to have the live stream, because if I finish my build, then I don't have anything to do, and so then all of a sudden I'm spending, you know, hundreds of dollars every month trying to keep enough Lego sets coming in to where I can build them. And I've had problems before where it's like I don't have anything to build, so now I have to drive to the store, buy a Lego set, and then just like,
oh, I wish I had that problem.
well, the thing is like it's fun for a little bit, but when your bills are piling up and everything else, it's like I don't want to spend $50 on a Lego set right now. Like I want to do what Cool Han's doing and wait for it to go on sale for 30% off before I buy it.
Yeah. And even then not building it.
Yeah, it just sits in my closet. And yeah, I'm like running out of space, and so I end up like building sets on stream, and then like ideally it would be cool to give them away, but that's a whole nother headache. Like doing like building a set live and then giving it away to the viewers would be cool. The idea sounds good, but it's complicated because I've tried to do giveaways on YouTube before, and it's like I have a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 30-year-old, like all these random people in my chat, and then if I choose a winner that's fair, then it's like, how do I get your address to send it to you? then it's all of a sudden I have to like give them my email or my Instagram or my Discord, and then I'm privately messaging people. I have no idea who they are. I mean, it could be like a 10-year-old kid who's excited about winning a Lego set, and it's like, well, I shouldn't be messaging a kid without their parents' permission or whatever, or like it's just like it gets really weird really fast, and I'm not trying to make it weird. I just want to give someone a free Lego set, but like it can get out of hand quickly. And so that's why I like Whatnot, is because you can go live and you can sell stuff, and then you can do a giveaway. It's super easy, and then when the person who wins, it gives you their name and their address, and then you just ship it to them, and it's like super easy. But like I don't know why YouTube can't have something like that. So you don't have to, private message people to get their information, because you don't want people commenting in your chat or on a YouTube video their name, their address, their city they live in. It's just like, it's too much personal information.
No, you're right. Sorry, just hit midnight here.
No, you're fine.
My body clock is just kicked in, but no, I'm good. But no, it's I get what you're saying. And I think, we've talked a little bit about doing like some kind of, I just kind of, giveaways or whatever. And I know Ken again from Brick Dynasty was really helpful when we did that charity stream, but that wasn't something we were looking for people to do at all. It was literally for donations, and they came out of nowhere with these sort of free sets they were going to give away. Yeah. But we've talked a little bit about doing something like that, and I just thought, it could have sort of pulled in a load of subs to say that you're going to do a giveaway, but I just thought I'd rather not go down that path. And I didn't even consider any things that you've just talked about, but it's just the path of being like, right, once you start doing something like that, I feel like you'd have to keep it up, and I don't know. So we thankfully have been able to but it's weird though, because listening to what you were saying is that you seem to, the bits that you do, the bits that I, and vice versa. So like I'm terrible at doing like shorts, and I know that's where you need to get footfall in. So although like our viewing hours are fantastic for the size of the channel and for how the amount of time we've been going, the viewing hours are like over 2,000 viewing hours. But
which is awesome.
But I can't get the subs up for love nor money. I did like an 8-hour stream to try and get me to 200 because I was on 191. And at the end of it, we were on 193 or something like that. So it was like, it is going up slowly, but it's like, and I look at the analytics, and it's like, you're averaging like one a week, whereas like 6 months ago it was like, I don't know, one every 2 weeks or whatever it is. But it's still, you're talking rookie numbers. So I was like, and everybody I spoke to said the same thing. They were like, yeah, we were like that. You couldn't just get over that hump.
A couple of Brickheads was like that for a long time. I mean, I remember I never heard of them, and then I was following Tyler, and then Tyler went over to their lives. They invited him. He went on there, and then he posted on his Instagram, and so I went over there, and yeah, they had like, I think I might have had more followers than them when they first started. They had like 600, 800 subscribers when I first saw their page, and they had Tyler on there, and they were talking, and I was like, they're like, oh, this is like our 15th or 20th show. I'm like, you only have 800 subscribers after that many shows? Like that's really tough pill to swallow. So I was I was excited that they are where they are now, but like you said, to start from nothing and do a show every week and expect to get followers to the point where you have a couple thousand followers is a lot of work. And so the algorithm is weird.
Yeah, I look back at their I can't tell like what followers and stuff they had. It doesn't really matter that much, but I look back at their, when they were roughly on the same amount of episodes as us, and they were getting roughly the same amount of comments, likes, and sort of views as we're getting now at that time. So, that tells me they were kind of in line. Not that, again, that they're the kind of measuring stick. Well, I suppose they are the measuring stick for us, at least, because, we're effectively the British version of what they do to some degree. And obviously it's worked for us, because I think if we were too much like them, or we were, going the same time as them, or we weren't in the UK and doing it at a time that suits most of the UK, then we wouldn't have carried on because it wouldn't
You'd
have been
just be
popular.
competing, yeah.
Because you're competing, whereas we're not. I don't feel like we are competing as such. I just feel like we're running concurrently with, and obviously a lot further behind. But again, it's not a competition for me. It's just, is it working? And obviously for me, it is in every other aspect apart from the fact that it's not gaining subs, because it is just that we've built up a really good, committed group of watchers and followers who will tune in every week and watch the show in its entirety live, or if they don't, they'll watch it back, because I was doing the numbers, looking at analytics, and near enough everybody who tunes in watches the entire thing, if not then later, because you could just go do the maths. It's like, right, that show that you had 20 viewers and you went for 4 hours and you had 100 hours of viewing time, and I'm like, well, that means everybody watched the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I'm like, great, that's great. So we're onto something here. We're trying to get the sub thing up, and we are starting to see people come in. And when they're new to the chat, I always say to them, how did you find the channel? And they're like, oh, the algorithm just kind of suggested it, and I'm like, great, it's starting to work. But in terms of doing shorts, because I feel like the channel is a bit more synonymous now with the group, the chat, which is the majority of what's on there, I don't really want to do shorts that are just based around what I'm doing. I feel like it should be show based. So, like I said, everybody and every man and his dog has said to me, if you need to get subs up, you've got to start doing shorts, and the best shorts for you would be clips from the show. But I just never get time to do it. I never get time to sit. Because my fiance said the same thing. She went, all you got to do is, I said, yeah, but I would have to watch the show back. The entire sort of 4 hours back. Find time to do that. And then, write down. So it's not even as if I could watch it back while I'm doing something, because I'd have to write down the times, and I'd have to go through and try and clip it and then edit it. And it's like, I just haven't got the time to do it, So I do struggle with that bit. And I think I did do one when Tyler was on. Yeah. And I did, I clipped the stream a little bit and made a short. And I checked back in a couple of days later with it, and the views were just next to nothing. So I was just like, well, I spent all that time doing what everybody suggested I do, and it didn't come up with any results. So I don't know. So I'm lost there, to be honest with you.
It is. I don't want to keep you up too late because I could talk about this stuff all night, but I don't know. I feel like, and I might be out of touch at this point because I've taken such a long break, but I felt like I kind of had somewhat of a formula to make it kind of work or have its best chance at working. But it's also not guaranteed because I don't know, it's what people are watching, it's what the algorithm's pushing, it's what sound clip it is or whatever, and so it's kind of complicated. And like I've edited videos for someone who has a Twitch channel, and Twitch is nice because I can always sit there and watch their live stream, and you can press clip, and then it literally will take a clip of the channel. You can edit it. You can have it be full screen, or the cut narrow for the phone screen. Like you're going to upload it to TikTok or something to where it's more vertical instead of the horizontal. And you can do all of that in Twitch, which is nice. And then it saves a little link. You can download it to your phone, and it saves a little link, and then you can share it wherever. Send it to your friend, have them click on it. It pulls you up to Twitch and then shows you the 10-second clip. And so it's really nice, and I wish YouTube would have something like that, because you pretty much have to go back through it. I don't know, I guess screen record it, because the only other way you could do it is download it, but who's going to download an 8-hour stream to scroll through and find the spot and cut it out? Like, oh my gosh.
I mean, there is a clip feature in YouTube, but I've tried using it before, and it's like 10 seconds or something stupid like that, and it's like,
you can't get the whole feeling of the situation.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm on with Brick Dynasty tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Not as a guest. I've been on the show as a guest before. I'm only saying it because it's just popped up now on my feed, but on Instagram. But Ken was just saying that I got into conversation with Ken because I keep in touch with him, same as I do most of the people who pop on the show at some point. And he was saying that he's got a couple of guests lined up, but Saunders is working some late shifts or whatever, so he's not available. Yeah. So I was just like, well, look, if you need an extra person to bounce off. And he was like, well, I'm lucky I had a guest lined up, because otherwise it would just be me, and I don't know whether I'd be able to. And I said, look, I'm happy to jump in, and don't want to sort of, it's your channel or whatever. I don't want to,
take it
throw
over.
my weight around. My weight around, anything like that. But if you need an extra person who can, you can bounce off or whatever, because you've got a guest on, then I'm happy to jump in. And he was like, yeah, great. So they go at I want to say 10 o'clock Eastern. So it's 2 o'clock in the morning. No, sorry, 9. I'm pretty sure it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll have to double check actually with him before then today is through tomorrow. But so anyway, long story short, I'm going to be jumping on there to sort of help him host whoever. I can't even remember who the guest is tomorrow. He did tell me, but so I'm going to be going to be on there. So anybody watching, if you're around, go and check that out. But Brick Dynasty channel, yeah. But I mean, I spoke to Ken a few times, and he said pretty much the same thing as me: is that he's, doing well on some things, and he's doing a lot of work, but his subscribers just, is struggling to get that, and it's just it's just again, if there was nobody out there to compare ourselves to, then we wouldn't know whether we were doing well or not. So I just try not to think about that. I just try to think about the fact that we've got a show every week. Lots of people tune. Lots of people want to come on the show. I get people asking to come back on the show or asking to be the guest on the show. Lots of people want to come on when we do the lives. So we're doing, we're creating a service. We've created a service for the sub community. Yep. People enjoy it. People come back every week. We're doing something right. We never did it to make money or be YouTube famous anyway, and I don't think that's the case even now. Don't get me wrong. If we got to the point where I could give up work and I could do this for a living, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But that's not reality, and that's 1,000,000 to 1 chance. So as long as I'm enjoying it...
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, as long as I'm enjoying it, and you're enjoying, like you said, it's got to be fun as well, hasn't it? You don't want it to be a chore, but as long as I'm enjoying it, the people out there are obviously enjoying it, then it doesn't really matter whether we've hit this figure, hit that figure, like you said yourself. It's just sometimes it's just it feels like just from you doing the work without wanting that, you kind of deserve to have earned it.
Yeah.
And I'll use the example. I did that 8-hour Cold Fusion stream. I never did it with the intention of gaining extra subscribers, right? I did it to try and spread out my net a little bit and get to know a few more people in the community that perhaps I hadn't already.
Yeah.
But I was thinking to myself, well, I've done an 8-hour stream. I should have, I deserve, this sounds kind of awful, but I deserve to have earned big chunk of extra subscribers for that, and then just kind of shocked that I didn't, but not disappointed that the thing was a whole waste of time or a disaster. You know what I mean? It's quite the opposite. But anyway, I don't know. I wish we all had the sort of keys to the kingdom with something like this, but it is what it is. But going back to Brick World, the only thing I was going to say is, or we started talking about earlier, is, are you getting? Have you arranged for somebody to pick you up from the airport, or are you going to try and make your own way? Or
I originally have, or I guess I do not have plans. I have several people I know. I know Ostif offered to pick me up, and I was like, dude, I don't know, dude. You're gonna be so busy, picking people up and moving people around and talking to people. I can't imagine just being like, oh yeah, I'll come pick you up. So I'm not worried about it. I think worst case scenario, I think it's literally 5 miles away. It's really close. And so I think worst case scenario, I could get an Uber, or they have those electric bikes that I could ride. It'd take me I guess I'd have luggage with me, so I probably couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I could get an Uber. I don't know. I know other people that are driving there, but in the same breath, I don't want to be a bother and like be like, hey, could you come pick me up? It's like I'm busy setting up, you know, my Lego or whatever, and like, you know, talking to people. I don't want to go and get you. So I don't know. Some people are generous and they want to give. That's how they want to, you know, help people, is go pick them up from the airport. And so if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not super worried about it. I think I saw somewhere too, I was reading in the itinerary, that there's a bus that drives around and you could get on it and ride it over to the convention possibly. So I don't know. And I think a lot of airports in the US have taxis in them, or like cars you can rent as well. So like I don't know. I need to look into it as we get closer here, but I'm not super worried about it. I think last minute decision I would probably do is like an Uber. Yeah, it'd probably cost me like $30 or $40, which sucks, but like at least I can get to where I'm supposed to go. But when I show up, I don't know. A lot of people will, if they're going to rent a car for the weekend, they would rent a car, but I don't really want to do a whole lot of driving around. Like I know people go to the Bricks and minifigures and all the restaurants and stuff, but it's like, I don't know. I figure I could catch a ride with somebody if they want to take me, or I can, you know. I don't know why, and they have these I don't know if you guys have them there in Wales, but like they have these electric scooters in every big city, and they're everywhere. And then you like pay like, I don't know, like $5, and then you can ride it around for like an hour. And then they go like, I don't know, like 10 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour, which is pretty fast. And you just like sit on them, and it's like a motorcycle, and you just like fly around. So like you could easily like, you know, go down the street, you know, and go to a restaurant with them. They're really fun to ride. And I don't know if they're there or not, because I haven't been there, but like every big city I've ever been to has them.
Yeah. No, we do have stuff like that, not in my town, but around and about in a few different towns and stuff. But I've never done it myself. But yeah, no, like you said, until we know what the setup is there and all the rest of it, there's no way of knowing. But I know, like, I don't want to speak for other people. There's like volunteering other people's services, but I remember Ostef saying that, yeah, he come and pick you up. So worst case scenario, I'll hop in the car with him, and you know, if it's doable, I'll hop in the car with him and come grab you, mate, and we'll get it up and get it going. Like,
yeah, that'd be great.
It should be good. It should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. But yeah, I'm hoping a friend could pick me up. But if, like I said, it's not a big deal if people can't, because I understand people are busy. But I don't know. I have Ryan's phone number too, so I could text him. But again, he's a big deal, so he's probably going to be busy.
Big deal, like. Yeah. But no, at least you got that, because that'll be your first time meeting him since.
I know.
Since that, you know, that sale or whatever.
Yeah, I've never met him before. The first time I ever talked, well, I've watched his videos for years, and then I found the Commander Cody and the Commander Rex helmet early, like
that's right,
3 months early, and then I messaged him on Instagram, and he was like, I can't believe you found these. I was like, yeah, do you want to review them? And he was like, oh yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, I'll send them to you. And he's like, oh, like, I'll pay you for them. I'm like, no, just take them for free, because, like, you know, I want to help you out. And he was like, no, I will pay you for these. So I was like, okay, fine. And then he paid me for them, and then I shipped them to him, and he was at a brick convention at the time, I think the one in Georgia or something like that. And I was like, hey, can I like call you and like make sure that I have all this right? And then so I called him and like got to talk to him on the phone. I was just like, didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, I have his number in my phone. It was crazy, because like, you know, you like look up to somebody for a long time and watch all of his reviews on Lego Star Wars stuff, and I'm like always like, I don't have the book on me, but you know, the Lego book where it has all the sets in it. I'm always like flipping through it and like checking like which set came out this year, which set came out that year. And I was like, because I was just starting to grow this collection. So I had specific things that I wanted to put in this collection. And so I was trying to figure out which is the best one to buy. And so I was like watching his reviews, flipping through the Lego book and like all this stuff. And then it was like super crazy to like have his phone number. And then like a few months, I don't know, it was like, I can't remember if it was like 6 months later, a year later, but he had kind of talked about this set, and then you know, no one knew what it looked like, and then my buddy found a picture of it and on Craigslist, and then I sent it to him, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" And then he was like trying to buy the list, but right as I took the screenshots and sent him the link for the listing, like the guy I think got caught or something and deleted it. He couldn't find it anywhere, but luckily I had like taken some screenshots of it, and he like was able to make a video on it. He did privatize the video because I think he was worried about like Lego's really weird. Like they'll like you know, do what they did to some of those Instagram channels. Just delete all your stuff and say a copyright claim on you and like delete your whole account. There's a couple of Instagram accounts that got completely deleted for leaking set images early.
Right, yeah, I remember, yeah. The Falcon fan was running one.
Yeah. And so I think, I don't know, it wasn't a super great video because I didn't have, you know, the box in hand, but, you know, we had the first images of it, and so he was able to share that, and so that was cool. And then I don't know, I think after that we had texted a little bit, but not that much because, you know, I didn't want to bug him. But then I think he plays Call of Duty too, and so like I would watch him play Call of Duty on Twitch or something like that, and then eventually I just messaged him. I was like, "Hey, I play Call of Duty too. Do you want to play sometime?" And he was like, "Sure." And then we have played quite a bit of Call of Duty together. So, and he randomly texts me sometimes, and sometimes I randomly text him. So I don't know, it's crazy. It's just, you never think that you'd be able to be friends with somebody like that. I mean, he lives in Florida, about as far away from me as possible in America.
Yeah.
I'd have to fly, you know, like spend $800 and fly like, you know, 6 or 7 hours to go see him. But like, I'm, you know, get to be friends with one of my heroes. So that, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not besties with him, but you know, I can have a conversation with him, which is crazy to me. But
no, it's good. I'm glad. Like I said, hopefully you get to catch up in Brickworld. Just make sure I'm next to you when you do. Then you can introduce me as well.
Like, hey, this is my real good friend, Cool and Luke Ricks here. We need to figure out the algorithm for subscribers.
I think he's on.
He has
I think
so
he's
much
only ever like one of my posts, maybe 2 of my posts, and 1 or 2 of my stories. He may have responded to a message or something I've sent him, but that's about it basically. So yeah.
Does he follow you on Instagram?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever really checked.
He follows a lot of accounts on Instagram. It's crazy. Like if I find a new like Lego page that somebody's, I'll click on it, and 9 times out of 10 he's following them. He does a pretty good job of following people.
How would I? Oh yeah, you go on followers. Obviously, is this an alphabetical order or anything?
You should be able to search it when you're looking at followers.
Search. What is it? Is it M and
R? Should be M and R. Yeah.
No, I guess not then.
Oh yeah, I had Austin tell me too. He's like, "Hey, can you talk to him and see if he can be on my show too?" And I was like, "Well, I don't want to be the gatekeeper, but I also don't want to be the annoying friend that's like, yo, can you join my friend's live stream?" And like, so I don't know. I've never even asked him myself to be on one of my live streams, and like, I don't know how to. I would like to meet him and, you know, talk to him and get to know him like a little bit better to where I'm comfortable enough to ask him a question like that, because I don't want to burn down all the bridges just trying to, promote people's stuff to him. So it's just like, my main goal is I would just like to be friends with you and be able to have a conversation with you and play some Call of Duty occasionally. But like, if someone's good enough friends with someone, then, it wouldn't be impolite to ask if you wanted to join my live stream I'm doing today. But I don't know. Like Sean's just very, I guess, good at asking people, or I don't know how Sean got Ryan on their show either. I guess that Tyler probably knew him, and then maybe Tyler convinced him or something. I don't know how it all went down.
There is some people here. Now I'm looking through the followers. There's quite a lot of people in here who are surprised that, like, I didn't know were following me. So there's, I've just noticed that there's somebody else who's got a very similar Instagram thingy to you. Their Instagram, this is their Instagram.
Oh, that's funny. It does look similar to mine. Another goal of mine, again, I keep rambling on, but another goal of mine is I wanted to kind of rebrand my YouTube and like come up with my own logo and my, like, I don't know. My name's all right, but it's really long. It drives me nuts how long it is. And I've noticed recently there's been a lot of other brick by brick whatever like channels popping up. Like, and I noticed in the Discord with a couple of brickheads, there's another person that literally almost has the exact same name as me. Granted, when I'm on Discord, it's Shadow Shark because that's my gaming tag, but like, it's the same name as like my YouTube channel almost. And then there's like bricked. There's another channel. There's several channels on Instagram I've seen that are like brick by brick, something or another. And so I don't know.
We got
changing it.
We got Luke on as the guest on Sunday, and his account is Behind the Brick, and that one always confuses me a little bit with yours because it's like the couple of like more than one B like Behind the Brick. But yeah.
But I'm kind of worried about changing my name because people won't maybe recognize me, but I don't know. I feel like once you have, like what you said, like a core group of people who show up to your channel every week and, they're going to be there no matter what, like, they'll figure it out, but maybe to new people it'd be confusing.
No, that's why you'd have to make sure if you were going to change it, your face is in it so that people would hopefully connect the two. Or what I've seen a lot of people do is they do like a post, or they do a couple of posts throughout like the course of a week or even a month where you have your old design and your old name and your new design, and then just kind of, I don't know, create some kind of thing where they kind of overlap or merge so that people are like, right, now I know this is this person or whatever. So that kind of thing, like, but
yeah, it's not a bad idea.
No, just
because I was a little bit nervous at first about putting my face on there, and then as I started doing, like, because I posted a bunch of shorts, like 100 of them, without showing my face, and then I finally just said, you know what, like, I don't care, and then I finally got less camera shy, so I don't really care as much anymore. But I feel like channels do better when you have your face on the front of them. It's like even your like your Instagram and your channel has your face on it, and people are like, oh, I know who that is. So I think that maybe it's time for me to, I don't know, go get a haircut, get a picture of myself.
Well, I was going to say, I wouldn't, because I like this picture that you've done with you with the chicken. Oh, you with the cockwall.
Yes,
like,
that.
You just need a piece of like a hay, just a piece of hay or something, because it just looks kind of like that. I don't know much about Oregon apart from the trail or whatever, but it's like
there's some cool mountains up here to visit. There's like Mount St. Helens was a big mountain, and then it exploded all out the side of the mountain in like the 70s, and basically had like some lava flow where it pushed up pressure and it blew the whole top of the mountain off, and it shoved it off to the side. It was crazy. It like leveled a whole bunch of territories and like filled up this whole lake with like sediment and stuff like that and killed all the fish, and that's pretty cool to go visit. You can go on a big hike up there, and there's still like steam coming up out of it, but there's no lava.
Wow.
And then there's Crater Lake, which is also super popular. I don't remember how it started. It was another similar story where like this huge mountain was there, and then the top, it built up pressure, and then it blew the top off of the mountain, and then there's this huge crater, and then it filled up with water, and then now it's called Crater Lake, but it used to be a volcano. But wow. you should Google that one for sure, because that one's pretty cool.
I was going to say the only thing I've really heard about Oregon apart from the trail is that it's like one of the few places where you get mountains and sea.
Yeah, I can get to the ocean in close. Like 45 minutes from where I am. Like if you go to Eastern Oregon, it's pretty far away. It's like, an 8-hour drive, but like, I don't know. I like Eastern Oregon. There's certain parts of it that are boring and kind of just like desert and sage, and it's very similar to Nevada and Reno and all these other places, but there's certain parts of it that are cooler. But for me, it's much different from where I live, because I live in the Willamette Valley, and so there's like a lot of trees and mountains and lakes and streams and ponds and stuff like that, and so it's very like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like outdoorsy kind of place to go hiking and stuff like that. And also there's the Three Sisters. Like if you were coming here as a tourist, I could like probably figure, I don't know how long it would take, but I could, you could figure out like a 3 or 4 day plan of like the best places to visit. But it's hard because too there's like the main attractions, and then there's other exciting cool places that some people would find interesting that are like off the beaten path per se. Like you could just drive to the beach, but like there are cooler places at the beach to go visit. There's like this thing called the Cannonball, where it like has these 2 tunnels that go into each other, and then it's like sealed off on the edges, and then it's kind of open like a cauldron, and then as the tide goes in and out, it pushes water up into it, and then it like swirls it around and pushes it up, and it's like it's super cool looking. Then there's a place way further south, like 3 hours, that's called Bandon, and it's a super popular golf course, I guess. I don't know. I'd like to get into golfing more, but I have too many hobbies already. But it's just a fun place to visit. It's got like really good food, fun things to do, shops to go visit, and like I don't know. There's a lot of stuff here to do in general, but there are some boring parts too.
I'm hoping to, like you said, I don't know, right? So I was talking about this when you were on the stream, but I was like, I want to try and visit every state in the US eventually.
That'd be cool. That's on my bucket list too, and I live here.
But yeah, so although I've only been to like, I always forget how many.
You told me the list when I heard your list, like Philadelphia, Florida, New York. Yeah.
So I think it's 3 on the West Coast, 3 on the East Coast, and yeah, so 7.
Nevada.
Yeah, so California, Nevada, Arizona, which all that was one trip.
Yeah.
But we did we saw the Hoover Dam, and I took a helicopter ride into the Grand Canyon.
That's
and
awesome.
we were on the Colorado River that kind of runs through the Grand Canyon, and just kind of on a boat down there and back. So we went to a Native American reservation that was in Arizona, and they made like jewelry and stuff, and they made us food. I bought like a drum. I bought some seeds for a Joshua tree.
That's super cool.
And all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we did like everything it had to offer in terms of, Arizona, in terms of like touristy type stuff.
And the landscape, yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously we went to Nevada, which obviously was mostly to spend some time in Vegas, but we did other things as well. Like we went to the top of the Stratosphere. We walked. My sister and I walked the full length of the strip, and back, which we were telling other people that, and they were like, "Why would you want to do that?" And it's like, well, we were the only people I think in Las Vegas who went there, and we didn't gamble because I don't gamble. I wouldn't know what to do. So my sister wasn't interested, so we didn't gamble at all. And I remember
it saved you a lot of money.
We were waiting for a taxi or a cab or whatever you want to call it from the hotel back to, because we stayed in the Imperial Palace, was the pagoda, like Japanese pagoda or Chinese pagoda, whatever it is. I think it's gone now. I think because it was quite an old one at the time, and this was like 2009, I think. But so it was a long time ago. But we stayed in the Imperial Palace, and it was quite an old hotel then. So I think it's gone now. It's probably been leveled and replaced with something else. But
probably.
We were waiting out in just outside the lobby to get a taxi to go to the airport, and we were flying then to Anaheim, to Los Angeles, LAX, and we met a couple there. It turned out to be a son and his mother, but the guy was in his 50s. So I was in, what was I? I think I was in my early 30s at the time myself, but he was like an older guy, and his mother who was kind of elderly, and they're from Buffalo, I think. Anyway, so they were chatting to us, and they said, "Look, do you want to split? Are you going to the whatever the name of the airport is, McCarran Airport, is it in Vegas? I can't remember." But he said, "Do you want to split a taxi?" And we said, "Yeah, no worries." So we jumped in, and they were like, "Oh yeah, how did you guys get on this trip?" And we were like, "Oh well, we've come from overseas, so we came really for the we haven't come to gamble." So they were like, "Oh well, how much did you sort of spend and lose?" And we said, "Well, nothing. We didn't." And they were like, "You didn't even put any money in one of the machines or anything?" We were like, "No, we came for to experience everything. We got to go around all the hotels," and they were just blown away by they've been coming for years since I guess he was old enough to gamble. I guess him and his mum have been coming for years because they still live together. And he was like, "We've never ever met anybody in all the years, and all the people we've seen, thousands of people we've met who've never gambled." And we were like, "Oh, we're the first." So he's like, "Oh, I got that story to tell the next people we meet." But he was saying something like, "Oh, yeah, we are." I said, "Oh, so do you come?" He said, "Oh, yeah, we come one weekend a month. Me and my mother, we come down." He said, "And we just sometimes we walk away with a loss. Sometimes we walk away with a gain." And I was like, "All right, okay. So how much did you lose or gain this time?" He said, "Oh, it was a losing trip this time." He said, "But we did have fun." I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "Oh, yeah, we lost." How much did he say it was? I remember it being a 5. I said afterwards to my sister, "Was it $5,000? She was like, "No, because that's not really a lot." And I remember being shocked. So she said, "He must have said 50,000. 50. We end up losing 50,000 this trip." And I was just like, "What? That's like a life-changing amount of money for me." Yeah. I mean, obviously it was in dollars, so it wasn't quite. Still,
the same as euros, but that's still a lot. I mean, that's probably 30,000, 40,000 euros.
Well, we don't use the euro here, but it's pound here. But
pounds,
but yeah, roughly about that, £35,000, and I still I just remember thinking, wow. But anyway,
it's kind of sad, honestly.
But I think he said the most they've ever won on a trip is 300,000 or something stupid like that. So they must gamble big, and they go for a long weekend. So they go from Friday to a Monday or Sunday or whatever it was.
Because you can't bet small amounts of money and win $300,000. You gotta bet $5,000 at a time, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But he said that, and I said, "Oh, did you guys?" And he said, "Oh, well, we don't really leave the casinos. We just." And the one thing somebody pointed out there as well, I don't know if you've ever been to Vegas, but it's none of the casinos have got windows or clocks anywhere. Because they don't want people to have any perception of time, so they just stay there all day and night. And I've just never, I've been to hotels before. I stayed in a hotel in Scotland, and I came down at 3 o'clock in the morning because I was gasping for a drink, and the bar was still open there, and I thought that was strange, but there was nobody about. It was dead.
Yeah.
Vegas, me and my sister were really, because we'd flown into San Francisco, and obviously it's on the West Coast, so you pretty much fly there after traveling for including the travel to the airport and waiting at the airport and then the flight. It was probably about 20 hours all told, and I was like, and then you land there and you've still got a full day. So I'm like, Anyway, we were really jet lagged basically because we flown
Yeah.
from San Francisco. Then we had 6 days in San Francisco, which was very busy, and it was a heat wave, so we were like sweltering. We flew
Yeah.
from there over into Las Vegas, and we just couldn't sleep. We just like
Yeah.
we our body clock was all over the place. We couldn't sleep, so we were just like, it was like, I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were just like, let's just go and see if we can explore and see what's open.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I came downstairs and I was
Everything's
like,
open.
I'm like, wait, are you sure it's 3 o'clock in the morning, not 3 o'clock in the night? Sorry, 3 o'clock in the night and not 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And my sister's like, I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm thinking, so we're walking on, like, everything looks exactly the same as when we first got here. And it's just crazy. If anything, it was busier, and it was just, and then we went out into the street, and obviously it was pitch black, so we knew it was the night.
Yeah.
But there's just people coming and going, and they walk, and then walk. And the other thing I was trying to explain this to Kirsty is the one thing about Las Vegas that threw me off, that you don't hear people talk about it or see it until you're actually there. The people drinking alcoholic drinks, beverages, cocktails, beers out of unusually shaped receptacles. So there was like people walking around with like boot-shaped glasses, and they're drinking beers out of them. And there's one guy was walking around, and he had like it wasn't a full-size guitar, but it was like a
mandolin.
plastic guitar with like a stroke on it. He's drinking beer out of it, walking down the street like that with a guitar. I'm like, where am I? It's just so bizarre. But you never see people talk about that kind of thing in Vegas. You see about like the shotgun weddings and all that kind of stuff, but you never see people talk about this stuff. And me and my sister were going around the hotels, and we've got a picture of us once. We went to the Mandalay Bay, one hotel we went to, and we were like trying to find our way out of the hotel because we just wanted to walk around the insides of these hotels. Oh, it was the one that's shaped like a pyramid.
Pyramid.
Is it the Luxor? Is it that one?
I think so. I've only been to the airport, and I was there for like 2 or 3 hours, and I could see the pyramid from out the window, but yeah, I don't know any of the names of them.
Well, we were walking around, and we were inside this pyramid thing, and obviously the inside is just like a pyramid, and obviously there's like all sorts of stuff going on in there. And I'm looking up and I'm thinking, how do you get up to the floors? Like, how does the lift work? Because as you look up, you can see the balconies, and they're going up like this. Like,
yeah.
So I'm thinking, there's no way a lift could go straight up if the building's shaped like a pyramid. So I'm like,
yeah,
how does this work? So I was expecting it to be some central thing, and you go up, but obviously all the middle's hollowed out. I was just saying to my sister, I was like, how'd you get up? I spoke to a girl years later who'd stayed there, and she said the lifts are on an angle like this, so they go up like diagonally.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I would have loved to ride that. But anyway, me and my sister were at this hotel, and we were trying to find our way like out because we'd gone in and kind of got lost. And we ended up like out the back of the hotel, and it was one of these like bin things. I guess you put like money or whatever in, like a massive bin thing that you could kind of sit in with wheels on it. And me and my sister were like tanked up most of the time we were there. We were like drunk, so I've got like both of us were just kind of riding
each other around.
The back. And it wasn't a car park or anything. It was like must have been a private area because there was nothing there. It was just all barbed wire, and we must have basically gone out the wrong door and found our way out the back. And we were just wheeling this thing around, and it was just like, and I got a photo of us doing it, and we'd forgotten about it. It wasn't until like weeks later where I processed the photos, and I'm thinking, I showed it to my sister. I'm like, what the hell's this photo of? And she was like, oh, I'd forgotten about that. That was when we were under, like I said, because we were like that, so we didn't know what we were doing half the time. But that was basically the whole holiday. It was just going and exploring. Of course, we did the Arizona trip from Nevada, so that's how we got to do that. But yeah, we only spent 4 days there, but it was like carnage basically for us. But like I said, I'm so glad I didn't gamble because
oh my gosh,
especially after getting drunk and stuff, we would have made a mess.
Yeah, people make bad decisions while they're drunk, and like, man, that I don't think anywhere else in the world eats as much money as Vegas does.
No, and I think the all-you-can-eat buffets there as well was the other thing. Is like every place you go, it's like
I hear those are awesome.
$5 or $6 or whatever it was, which was stupid money, and the food wasn't great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And you could tell some of it had been sat there or just warmed up or whatever.
Yeah.
But for what you're paying, like $5 or $6, and you just go and they're just like, and I was like, oh, where do we order? And they're like, oh, you just go up and take what you want. And I'm like, it's not like I'd never been to a buffet before, but it was just everywhere we went for food, it was the same. So we were like, okay, pile our plates up. And that was the same as well, because that day we came down to the to have a bit of an explore, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we wandered around. Everything was the same. We eventually like, right, starting to feel a bit tired now, but we're starving. Where can we go to get something to eat? And we were looking for something, and we were just casually walking through the hotel, and we saw the sign saying the restaurant is open. I was like, it can't be open this time of night. So I said to the woman at the desk, I was like, oh, there's a sign over there. She went, oh yeah, it's down. You know, you can't. I was like, yeah, just checking. It is going to be open, is it? She was like, yeah, it doesn't close. I was like, what? She was like 4 o'clock in the morning. We're just eating like chicken wings, and everybody's there's people bustling around and chatting and filling. I was just like, this is so bizarre, like for us. And yet, on the flip side of that, when we went to New York, the city that never sleeps, me and my partner got back from like a day of exploring in New York, and it was like 10:30-ish. I think it might have been the second night we were there. And we were like, right, well, you know, we've been out all day, and it was a heat wave on in New York as well. We absolutely got roasted to death every day we were there. We'll chuck our stuff, bags and whatever else we've bought today or whatever, into the hotel, and we'll quickly come out and see if we can find some food. So by the time we did that, come back out, it must have been 11:15. Everything's closed. Couldn't find a place to eat. Even the pizza shop that was on the corner, they always seemed to be open the whole time we were there afterwards. It closed at like 11 o'clock. So It's just like, I'm thinking, this supposed to be the city that never sleeps. Like, if I was in my town, Llanelli, in the arse end of nowhere, I could go out now and find something to eat. No, it wouldn't be like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. But till about 1 o'clock at night, you can get like takeaway and stuff. And I'm thinking, what the hell? What city is this? It's not even a pizza place open. And I've spoken to people on the streams about this before, and people in the chat who are from New York, and they're like, oh yeah, you got to go to so-and-so to get... I'm like, yeah, but I don't know that, do I? Not only that, but we were staying like in Hell's Kitchen. It's like, I'm not wandering like all the way across the other side of New York just to be able to get a slice of pizza or whatever. So but it blew me away that it's that they call... I don't know why they even call it that, the city never sleeps, because
it's just, I don't know, there's so many people there, and there's always something going on, but maybe that doesn't count past 10 p.m. I don't know.
Yeah, because I found it to be no different to any other city at that time of night, where it was just, there was a lot less people around. There was still people around. But I go to Cardiff, which is the capital of the city I live in, and there's a nightlife there, bustling nightlife. So yeah, you go out and it's obviously quieter in the night, but then it starts getting busier again because obviously people are drinking, and that's an everyday thing. Obviously more on the weekends, but because it's a big student area as well, Tuesdays and Wednesday nights are actually quite busy. So you could be like, shops are closing and it gets a bit quiet and people are going for food, and then it starts getting busier again until like, I've come out of nightclubs at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. There's people everywhere. And again, that's in Cardiff, whereas in New York, it was like, there's obviously areas within New York that are probably busier or have nightlife.
Yeah,
but where we did, it was like, it's nothing here.
Yeah.
So
I think there's definitely a little... Again, I've never been to New York. I would like to go, but I think there's probably little pockets that are like Vegas, where it's like, oh, there's gambling here, there's nightclubs, there's pizza that's open, and like there's probably little pockets of it. You just have to know where it is. But yeah, I don't think it's like a citywide thing. That's the crazy thing about Vegas. It's just like there's nothing like it anywhere. It's just like a bunch of people who are sick in the head, just like gambling and drinking 24 hours a day.
It's madness. It's absolutely madness. And you got these people who were just sat there. I'm pretty sure I remember people were smoking then as well.
Yeah, some casinos you can smoke in, and some of them you can't. And all of them used to be able to smoke in, but they changed the rule because a bunch of people stopped gambling because the rooms were so full of smoke that they didn't like breathing it, and they'd be like non-smokers or something like that. And so the casinos were losing a bunch of money because of that, and so they started making, you smoke outside or designated rooms for smoking in, but they were losing money, so they stopped smoking in a lot of casinos. But I think there's still a couple of casinos that you can smoke in. They just have a big sign on the side that says you can smoke in or not.
In fairness, it was like 15, 16 years ago, but I remember
it was probably smoky in there.
Yeah, and I remember there was just like a little old lady sort of sat there, and she had a table thing next to her, ashtray just like overflowing. God knows how many. Drinks and stuff. She didn't have that many because they felt like they were just constantly. Me and my sister were just kind of sat there, just people watching, and she's just there like this.
Yep.
Pumping money in, just sitting there, and it's just like that's her entire day.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know.
12-hour day of that.
I couldn't think of anything worse, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't know what I was doing anyway. I mean, obviously, I've watched films and stuff where they play roulette and they play 21 or whatever, blackjack or whatever. But I still wouldn't be confident enough to go up to the table and be like, yeah, this plastic
deal
chip.
Me in.
Yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? And the same with machines, because we have gambling machines in the UK here in pubs and stuff. That's the only place they're allowed to be. They're not in any of the public places. But I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't have a clue what I was even looking at. So it meant nothing to me out there. But
I'm in the same boat. I had never been gambling or done anything like that, and then I went to a big car show in Reno, Nevada, which is another. It's not quite like Vegas, but it's kind of similar, but it's way smaller. And I did gamble there a little bit, but I only spent like, I don't know, like maybe $200 on gambling. But it was the same kind of thing where you like pull a slot machine or put money in and push a button and see if you win or not. But I always wanted to learn how to play cards because I like playing cards, but same as you, I'm intimidated by it. I don't know what to say to the dealer. I don't be like, oh, hey, deal me in, here's $300 or whatever. Like, I don't know how to do any of that, but I always thought it would be fun. But then I had a friend that got into it and he ended up losing a bunch of money. So I was like, maybe I don't want to get into it.
Yeah. I've got that kind of personality where, excuse me, probably a good reason I've stopped drinking actually, because I got one of those personalities where I can't
quit.
I don't know whether I want to call it an addictive personality, but I have to take everything. You know what I mean? So obviously I had slowed my drinking down before I stopped anyway, but I used to be like, it was ridiculous. To the point where I'd be like, I couldn't leave work without, when I used to travel on the train, I'd be about an hour and a half on the train. I would have to buy beers every night. Yeah. And I'd get in the house. My brother would be home when we shared a flat together, and it'd be like, I'd already had like the equivalent of, the pint-sized cans I was buying, and I'd have had like 4 or 5 of those before I even got home, and then I'd sit there and drink. And then even when I lived on my own, then I'd be beyond buying these massive flagons of cider, which is a huge bottle. I don't know, you guys call them like a 40 ounce or something, so it'd be equivalent to probably
like
an
a 44 ounce. Yeah.
This is be equivalent of like an 80 ounce big bottle. And I'd buy
like a 2-liter bottle.
Well, it was a 3-liter bottle, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have seen those before. Because I went down to South America for a couple of trips, and they actually, because here we only have 2-liter soda bottles, but they actually have 3 liters, and they're huge. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. 3 liters of cider, and I had Old English cider it was called, and I used to buy 2 of those. It was like 2 for £5, which is like dirt cheap, right?
Dirt cheap.
And I just sit there and I'd drink one on the train home, and then I'd sit there and drink the other one when I was in the house. And then I moved into a place on my own, but I also moved away to a new place where I was only like a 5-10 minute walk away from the shop. And I was in such this habit that I was still buying these flagons, but obviously there was no travel home, so I was sat at home drinking them, and it was just like it got silly, like, and I was obviously going out sometimes
during the week and on the weekends.
Yeah, well, at one point, just so happened because of between parties, somebody's birthday, a student night, whatever, we'd gone drinking like 12 nights on the trot, me and a mate of mine. And there was other groups of people involved in that, but me and this one particular mate, shout out to my mate Stephen Pickett, the two of us ended up being out because I think we'd always go out on a Tuesday night for this event. We'd always go out on a Friday. We'd always go to the pub on a Sunday. We'd always do this. And then it just so happened that we had like a friend's birthday party on the Monday. We randomly went out on the Wednesday. So basically, for 12 days on the trot, we went out drinking. And I remember getting to the 12th night and being like, have I been out for 12 nights on the trot? He said, yeah, I have as well. And other people had been out for like, say, 6 or 7 of those nights, but we'd been like the full 12. And at the end of that night, I went over to my friend's house and, we got into some other bits and pieces. And all I remember is him. I said, look, I'm going to head home. I was about a 20-minute walk away from his house. And he said he opened the fridge door like that to look in his fridge while I was waiting to kind of leave. Closed the fridge door and I was gone. I'd just gone like that. Boom. Face down.
No.
Cracked my head open here, which I had to have some stitches on his glass front. He had one of those doors within the door.
Yeah, the screen door.
Front door and then an inside door. And it was like made up of like glass panels. So I cracked one of them on the way down. And then where I caught of that, my face had come forward and I smashed out all my front teeth.
Oh no.
So I remember sort of like coming to, and my head's pouring with blood, spitting my teeth out into my hands. And I was like, of course, I ended up going to hospital and I had to have my teeth replaced and all the rest of it. But I had 3 days at home after I'd come out of the hospital, because obviously I had to have stitches and stuff.
Yeah.
And this was before I'd had my teeth replaced, so they were still all like smashed out, but the dentist had done like a temporary job on them. I'd had 3 days at home, and I was speaking to my mate, and he was like, "Oh, you know, we did that 12 days. Should we see if we can beat it?" And I was like, "Yeah, go on." We ended up doing 16 days.
Oh
16
my
days.
gosh.
And I was still going to work most of those days, but
Yeah.
for most of those days, I was going to work, finishing work, going home, getting changed, going either out to a nightclub or out to a pub and drink until like kick out time, and then back to someone's house to drink, and then work the next day. And even on the days I was off, I was getting up and I was going out drinking for the entire day and all night. 16 days on a trot. Mate, I don't know.
Wow.
I had to stop at the end of that because I said I think I'm just going to keel over and die.
Yeah.
But,
your liver hates you.
but that I mean, this was years and years ago. This was like 20 years ago. But I remember saying to my mate at the time, I said, "I did so much damage to my body in those, over those 2 weeks, physically, as in like visually, but also internally probably as well." But yeah, like when people talk about like going like Paduan and Ostef are talking about, "Oh yeah, when we go to Brit, we're going to have the Coors out. We're going to be smashing the Coors," and I'm like, nothing you guys ever do, I'll ever be like, "Oh, I miss that." Because when I say, I mean, that's just one small example, but there's been loads of things like that I've done over the years, and I'm just like, I don't miss it. I don't miss it, and it's probably for the best, if anything, because if I was still doing that, I'd have probably made a mess of myself anyway. So
and then you're like missing out on the event. You're like hungover or like sleeping in or whatever, and it's just like it just doesn't look very good.
Well, exactly. We're not going to be getting much sleep as it is. The last thing I want to do is head out. So I'd rather be tired, but of sane mind, than tired and hungover. I just no. But yeah, although this Coors stuff that they drink, I mean, I've had Coors before. It's just like so. Over here, it's quite really weak lager. I don't know whether the percentage is different over there, but
no, it is super weak. I think it's like, I can't even remember. I don't drink the stuff. I think it's like 0.5 or 1.5 or something like that. It's super low. It's literally like pond water with some alcohol in it.
Well, it's weird though, because I've had non-alcoholic beers.
Guinness makes non-alcoholic beer, and it tastes just like the real deal. It's amazing.
Yeah. No, I've got a can of that in the fridge right now. But my dad got me onto that actually, because he's always been a Guinness fan. He started drinking the Guinness Zero, and I was like, I'll give it a try. But anyway, I feel like we're spiraling this conversation into oblivion.
I need to go make dinner, not to cut you off, but
No, fine, mate. I was just looking at the time and I was thinking, oh my god, he said he wanted to go and spend some time with his family. I'm supposed to be in bed. Let's call it a night, like.
Yeah.
No,
well, thanks very much for getting on, and it was great talking with you. I'm excited for Brickworld, and it was good chatting with you.
Yeah, same. Yeah, appreciate you having me on short notice. So.
Yeah, and thanks for getting on with short notice. But I hope you have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, straight to bed. Actually, do you know what? I'm tempted to stay up and watch Underworld because I still haven't watched it. So, yeah.
You could slip an episode in.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Just like my addictive personality, I won't be able to watch one. I'll have to watch them all. So. But yeah, no, thanks, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Alright, I think it's off now. No,